Degenerates. Week 7 is here, and we already started off with the banger game of the Bengals and Steelers on Thursday night. So let's talk about that and what we have looking forward to this upcoming weekend. So, yeah, obviously Thursday night game, total shootout between the two grandpa quarterbacks, Flacco with the Bengals, and then Aaron Rodgers. They both had some quite stellar moments. Both very exciting fantasy games. Obviously, Jamar Chase putting up 38 points was great to see. T. Higgins also had quite a game. Chase Brown even eked out double digits. So maybe he's back, maybe not. But yeah, it was a very fun game. Lots of back and forth, especially at the end there. I mean, Rodgers had like the third longest pass in NFL history at that Hail Mary attempt. I he just was so casual and then just gunned that thing to the end. It's a lot of fun to see. So it was a very exciting game to kick off this week. Um, that being said, it's a very important week. Obviously, week 7 post this week. It marks the halfway point through your fantasy football regular season if you have a regular format. So it's kind of time to keep making moves, figuring things out, and figure out where your team is really standing. So this week, obviously, we have a couple bye weeks, just two though, thankfully. So it's the Bills and the Ravens. Obviously, the biggest losses are Lamar, who's been injured, and Josh Allen. That being said, obviously, some key running backs and other good wide receiver play there. So you might be hurting out on that front with the buys. Speaking of hurting, we have so many injuries around the NFL this week. I can't even go over all of them, but just a couple keynote ones. Obviously, we have Wentz playing once again for the Vikings over JJ McCarthy, who's still dealing with that ankle sprain. I don't know if it's something more than that. They're being kind of vague about it. So it sounds fishy. It's not fishy, I don't think. So Wentz is just playing. Brock Purdy still ruled out. We're going to see Mac Jones once again. Puka's ruled out. Calvin Ridley's ruled out. Terry McLaurin is still out. Ricky Pearsall's ruled out. I don't know what's going on with Kyler. That's another QB one that we don't know. Very cryptic over there in their messages from Jonathan Gannon and the coaching staff. So I mean, we'll see what it looks like if Kyler's there or not. I don't think it's going to be announced until just right around game time. So other ones, obviously, Bucky Irving's still out. Garrett Wilson's trending towards being out. Brock Bowers most likely still out. Same with Emeka Ibuka. Um, Mike Evans, we still don't know. I think Mike Evans will probably be back, but it's hard to know. And then like some guys are questionable who should probably play, like Debo, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle off of IR. He should be back this week. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of injuries. Those are just like some main fantasy players too. I got some other guys dealing with some stuff. Really thins out your lineup, and there's so many different ways you can take these injuries. But in terms of like filling in to take positions and gaps, I look at the position groups very differently when it comes to injuries. Obviously, if a running back gets injured, i.e., Chuba Hubbard, um, Rico Dowdle, the next guy up, he's going to fill right in, right? He takes his volume. It's kind of much easier to fill in as a running back. Whereas a wide receiver, if Puka Nakua is out, that means Jordan Whittington, Tutu Atwell are getting on the field more. But that doesn't make them mean that they're getting Tutu or Puka's his volume share. So, and then also on the other side of it too, like Devonte Adams, yes, he gets a little less competition uh, with Puka being out, but he also benefits from Puka being on the field a lot. Now, Adams can be the focal point of the defense, whereas the guys taking away coverage from him are guys like Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington, who aren't nearly the skill of Puka Nakua drawing that much attention. So he honestly can suffer too from this. So trying to predict who's going to come in based off injuries is much easier for the running back position. Wide receiver position, it's kind of a crapshoot. It almost makes you feel like every wide receiver room's got a little bit of that Green Bay Packers esque flipping a coin, see who the spin the bottle, see who it ends up on, and they're going to be the wide receiver one this week. So, um, yeah. So, like, if Josh Jacobs misses time, you got Emmanuel Wilson, you can plug him in, feel pretty good about him. much easier to think about. So let's go over some trades this week, kind of look at some trades being made, talk about some direction with these trades, and just get your thoughts on some players. So, before, as always, when we talk about trades, um, key points to take away is you don't have to necessarily win your trade. A lot of people try and only fleece the other team owner or just absolutely like blast them in the trade. That doesn't work out in reality. Occasionally you'll see some fleeces in your leagues, but it's not the norm. Also, it's not a good way to build, I guess, like trade bridges with your league mates. Obviously, if you fleece one guy, nobody's going to really want to trade with you. So yeah, you want both teams to kind of win out on the trade. You got to think of the other team's perspective. So I mean, I made a trade recently where I had plenty of RBs to trade, and my wide receiver room was disgusting. The key points of the trade were Brees Hall for Nico Collins. I got Nico Collins, you got Brees Hall. There's some other pieces involved, but those are just like the main factors of the trade. I think we both walked away very happy from that one. So, yeah. Um, who do we want to talk about first? So, oh, and then one other thing too is when you're trading within your own position groups, it's kind of hard to do unless you are like extreme outlier feelings on one player. If you're trading a running back for a running back, it's going to be someone who's like very similar production range. And unless you feel very, very strongly about tearing down off someone for someone who you think is on the come up, like it's just makes almost no sense to do the trade. So yeah, cross positions usually the easiest and the best for making the trades. All right. So our first discussion of the week for the trade corner will be once again, good old faithful Mike Evans. Mike Evans should be back this week. Obviously, we have to wait until game time to see. Uh, well, Mike Evans funny. You think he's always going to fall off, and he never does. And him coming back, and it's looking like Ibuka's going to be out. I think you just got to fire him up and just ready to rock and roll. That being said, there's always people who are jumping off the Mike Evans trade. Um, he's older. He's another week hurt. So some people might want to get off, and maybe you can capitalize on that. Maybe you want to get off him. I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing if you don't believe in him. But I think now is a good time to move off or onto him if you want to do that. So currently, right now, he's going straight up for players like Zay Flowers, AJ Brown. Um, he went for Kenneth Walker and Quentin Johnston today, and he got traded in one league for J.K. Dobbins and Jacoby Myers. So, yeah, those prices I honestly aren't too high to pay. I think if you want Mike Evans, they're very realistic. So if you believe in Mike, especially, I think you should. I would had happily make a good amount of those trades. So yeah, Mike Evans definitely one to look out for. Another player we want to touch on, he's coming off a terrible week, is Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Bill, he had the fumble last week. He didn't clear 6 points. I think for all the hype coming into the season last week was a real gut punch for all the Bill truthers. That being said, Bill did see his highest snap share of the week at 66%, which we love to see. He had 17 rushing attempts with one target out of the backfield, so 18 total opportunities. I think if he continues to get anywhere near that opportunity, 6 points is not going to be the norm for him. So I like him here. Also, he's got a sweet matchup versus Dallas, one of the worst defenses in the league. So um, yeah, I think you can give Bill a little bit of a discount right now. Currently, you can trade him straight up for players like Jordan Mason, Rashad White, uh, Rico Dowdle, Chase Brown, Chris Olave. I think if you need running back help, he's a great target here. Um, all those prices seem fairly fair. If you could trade Rico, who seems kind of maybe streaky, maybe not streaky. Chase Brown, obviously, I would love to trade Chase Brown for JCM. So yeah, definitely a good target. Um, Another guy you could try and target right now if you need help in the quarterback position is whether it's bye weeks, injuries like Lamar. If you don't want to just stream guys, a potential trade target is maybe Sam Darnold. A lot of people didn't have a lot of faith going into the season on Darnold. Um, so maybe you can pick him up. He's right now low end QB1. Like to see it. Obviously, JSN is the bread and butter of that offense. So Darnold's just feeding him. But he looks good. He's doing well. He doesn't have the highest upside, of course, but he's definitely scoring fantasy points. So I can see wanting to move on to him if you need help, something stable. If you're dealing with too much instability at your QB position due to injuries or whatever it may be, or if you want to move off of him to someone to try and take advantage of him. This past week, we've had trades for Sam Darnold straight up for Caleb Williams and straight up for Jackson Dart. So if you believe in one of those guys a little bit more than Darnold, you could move off of him. Or if you want Darnold over those guys, not a big Caleb fan personally, even though Ben Johnson looks like he's turning it around. Maybe you want the consistency of Darnold instead. So yeah, whatever you prefer out of those guys, maybe it's a good pivot to look into. And lastly, the trade target of the week here is going to be Darren Waller. Yes, Darren Waller, believe it or not. He's looking like he's the second target on the team behind Jalen Waddle. Obviously, Devon Achane out of the backfield, but so far, Waller's getting quite a few red zone looks. Every week, he's gotten at least one red zone look. He's getting into the end zone, and he's going for quite cheap as well. So this past week, we've had players like DJ Moore getting traded straight up for him, Cooper Kupp straight up for him, and Romeo Dobbs. Those are all absolutely like garbage bin trades. So if you need a tight end to fill in and Waller's out there, and especially if they have someone else already on their team, he's definitely a good target. Yeah, so those are some trades to look into. As always, all these trades are looked up using the fantasycalc.com trade database. You can input your league settings and see trades that are only made in your league. Most of my leagues are 12 teams, full PPR trades. So yeah, some of them super flex, some not super flex. But if you can put those settings into C and give you an idea of what to trade for, yeah, it's just a great tool to have. Uh, you're not going to win not making trades. So, and then lastly, I'm just going to touch on some players that we really like this week. First off, we're going to go with JCM. Just talked on him. I think he's going to have a huge game this week. Definitely over 50% snap share. I see him getting in the end zone. A lot of work. I expect big numbers from him. Another player is Jordan Mason. They're going to be taking on the Eagles this week. Carson Wentz will be a quarterback. A little bit of a redemption story there. Should be a good game, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, Eagles just got absolutely ass blasted by Cam Scatabo. Obviously, Jordan Mason is no Scatabo, but he's quite a good running back. So I could see him getting a lot of work here. Quarterback position this week, I do like Jordan Love a lot. They're playing the Cardinals, who have struggled both sides of the ball. We don't know if Kyler's going to be there or not. If he isn't, we got Jacoby Brissett, who always he does some good things, some bad things. He's like a good backup, but they'll probably turn the ball over once, lead to a lot of opportunities for Jordan Love and the Packers. We'll see if Josh Jacobs is out this week, dealing with injury of his calf, I believe, and a sickness, but I think he should be good to go. But yeah, expect a good week from Jordan Love. And the last one I expect a good week from is he's already a wide receiver one, believe it or not, still is Trey Tucker. But I think he could have another big week this week. Brock Bowers obviously going to be out with his knee. I'd say like 95% chance. And then we also have Jacoby Myers who may miss. This week was kind of a mess. We had rumors of Jacoby Myers being traded. Then he got injured and he missed a bunch of practice. We still don't have a ruling on that, but I think he's going to miss time. That leaves not a whole lot on the offense. Michael Mayer will fill in for Brock Bowers. Obviously, he's a good guy, but he's not Brock Bowers, of course, so he's not going to demand the target volume. So, yeah, I like Trey Tucker a lot this week. I'm definitely putting him in some of my starting lineups. So, yeah, definitely a good play. So that's all I got for this week. Good luck in all of your games, everyone. And until next time, peace out.